What's up? Welcome back. Today we are in Ecclesiastes chapter 4, and the title of that text is No Comforter for the Oppressed, starting in verse 1. So I returned and considered all the oppressions that are done under the sun, and behold, the tears of such as were oppressed, and they had no comforter. And on the side of their oppressors there was power, but they had no comforter. Wherefore I praise the dead which are already dead more than the living which are yet alive. Yea, better is he than both they which have not yet been, who have not seen the evil work that is done under the sun. Verse 1 through 3. Returning to the topic of oppression, Ecclesiastes asserts the political corruption is terrible precisely because it does not allow common people to do the thing the book recommends, to enjoy their days under the sun. Verse 3. This verse is hyperbole, the use of exaggeration for rhetorical effect. Someone who says, "I wish I had never been born," rarely means it literally. When Ecclesiastes declared that the one which have not yet been is the most fortunate of all, it is merely saying in an emphatic way that the corruption practiced under the sun is a cause for great sorrow. Again, I consider all travail in every right work, that for this a man is envied of his neighbor. This is also vanity and vexation of spirit. The fool foldeth his hands together and eateth his own flesh. Better is a handful with quietness than both the hands full with travail and vexation of spirit. Then I returned, and I saw vanity under the sun. There is one alone, and there is not a second. Yet he hath neither child nor brother, yet is there no end of all his labor. Neither is his eye satisfied with riches, neither said he, for whom do I labor, and bereave my soul of good. This is also vanity. Yeah, it is sore travail. Verse 4 through 8. Ecclesiastes returned to the theme of wealth, describing how foolish it is to send one's life into pursuit of riches. First, Solomon declares that people work hard, not out of love for the task, but out of a desire to do better than their peers. Second, a conventional proverb declares that laziness brings on poverty. Against this, verse 6 gives a counter lesson, that it is better to have little with peace than to have much with the constant hunger for more. Two are better than one because they have a good reward for their labor. For if they fall, the one will lift up his fellow, but woe to him that is alone when he falleth, for he hath not another to help him up. Again, if two lie together, then they have heat. But how can one be warm alone? If one prevail against him, two shall withstand him, and a threefold cord is not quickly broken. Verse 9 through 12. Friendship is the theme of this section. The advantages of friends are that they help one another get work done. The one friend sustains another when disaster strikes, that they give comfort to one another against the bitterness of life, and that they protect one another from enemies. Interestingly, friendship is one area of life that Ecclesiastes never calls vanity. Verse 11 through 12. These verses do not refer to lying together sexually. It is an image of travelers sleeping outdoors in the desert. They must huddle together to be warm. The fact that verse 12 asserts that three are better than two makes clear that these friends are not lovers. Better is a poor and a wise child than an old and foolish king, who will no more be admonished. For out of prison he cometh to reign, whereas also he that is born in his kingdom becometh poor. I consider all the living which walk under the sun, with the second child that shall stand up in his stead. There is no end of all the people, even of all that have been before them. They also that come after shall not rejoice in him. Surely this is also vanity and vexation of spirit. Verse 13 through 16. This section illustrates how fleeting political power is. There are two people here. The first person is the old king who in his youth was poor, but rose to power through skill and perseverance. The king is now an old and foolish. The second person is youth who possesses the political skills the old king once had but lost, is now ready and able to assert him. This is the child of verse 13, who is called the second child in verse 15. But even though the second youth is successful for a time and pleases the crowd, he will also eventually get old, lose touch, and be abandoned. Political power and popularity are by nature fleeting.